Much love, back again, and welcome to another EBX discussion. And let's get to them honors. Honor thy ancestors. Honor my dad. May they all rest in peace and in power. And I honor my grandparents. May they rest in peace and in power. I honor my mom. She's alive and vibrant. And a cousin I had passed a year ago. May she rest in peace and in power. As well as the friend of the family. May she rest in peace and in power. And welcome to another EBX discussion. And if you are alive and breathing, you back to fight another day in this spiritual warfare that we have out here. And welcome to the spirit can't lie, and the spirit won't lie because the truth won't let it. So embrace it, because sometimes we have to stand alone when we embrace that truth. Because once we embrace that truth, there is no stopping, there is no turning back. And we all, no matter what walk we're on, what religion we're in, what ideology we follow, I'm talking about that real truth, that underlying truth, under all the BS we see via social media or in the world or people, places, or things. We begin to see these things when we really become invested in the truth, and it's embedded in our soul, in our spirit. We walk by the truth. We breathe by the truth. All we know is the truth. I'm talking about that real truth, that outside the matrix truth. And again, like I just said a few minutes ago, we all will come to that truth, no matter what walk we're on. So what are you going to do with it? Are you going to run from it? Or let's pick up that torch and by any means necessary, pass it on to the generation behind us, whether it's brother or sister. Because I will always continue to touch or teach the hearts, the minds of the souls of the young and the old, those that are in the baby stages of self-awareness, as I always say. And I always got to reiterate what I teach my brothers and sisters, whether it's young or old. Because there are always those that are in the beginning stages. We all have been there. It's nothing I will teach you that I won't teach myself. It's no struggle that I see in a brother or sister, individuals, whether they are going through a struggle or have been through a struggle. I know what it's like to struggle. So that's what bring a lot of us powerful, like-minded brothers and sisters, bring us to this point of teaching, not preaching, teaching. Because learning and really taking in, whether we listening to a brother or sister in the present, whether we've done our own researching, or whether we kind of got some of the school's education, but we take a little bit of that when we're not aware. And then as we grow and mature, especially in our spirituality, we come upon our own education, and that real education, that ancestral education. We come to that point, especially if we're melanated. But some of us, unfortunately, will be in denial. And once you are really real and genuine, and you have that connection to that divine, Mother Nature, that higher power, the universe, it won't let you go. And speaking on let go, I know a lot of us are not going to be on the same wavelength. We're not going to have the same mindset. Our ideologies are different. We've come through different ways of being brought up in our generations and in our families. So it's not a matter of letting those go. It's a matter of those letting themselves go. Because when one stands for the truth, and I mean, this is just an example. This is anyone, brother or sister. When one is standing for that truth, they will let nothing get in the way of that. And I'm talking about good, righteous truth. Something that stands up and breathes life into one and opens up one's pineal gland to the real things that's going on in this world, and not the things that are just before us. You hear me say that a lot, because that's one thing that I had to learn. We have to look, I always say, over, above, and beyond. Some things have to be said over and over, because it's different. You might hear it at different times when we need to hear it. But as long as there's truth behind it, long as there's integrity behind it, long as there's life coming behind it, And I mean with things we say, and it's life in what we eat, things in, we breathe. It's life, righteous life in what we feel and how we feel towards others, especially ourselves. Because I always say, what we meditate on the most inside, what movie we make on the inside is what we'll produce on the outside. So it goes back to that law of attraction. Whatever we put out is what we'll get back. No matter the different conversations or discussions or some arguments that some will try to draw us in. A lot of times we don't mean to argue, but we have to stick to discussing and not arguing and having petty debates. And that's what following on that truth is all about. It's about getting that good energy, that education, that knowledge out there. Sometimes you have to be bold with it. You have to be brutally honest sometimes. Sometimes we can't help being brutally honest. It just depends on the situation and how much that, if it's negative energy and it's tugging on us, of course we're going to be brutally honest. If we're right within ourselves and we're standing for truth and we are right in our walk, because the Creator always protect the righteous. Mother Nature always walk with the righteous. If you're seeking righteousness, you're on a righteous path. And you can't lose with righteousness. I mean, what other option do we have? Just think if I was bitter and all angry and and hating on this person and hating on that person. Do you think that would make my life any better? Do you think, I know a lot of us, we start out on walks, and sometimes it is hard to, and I'm not just talking about social media, I'm talking about in life in general. And we should already expect for it to be a difficult walk when we're following this truth, because not everyone wants to face the truth. And I won't act like I'm perfect and I do everything right. But one thing I know, I'm seeking righteousness and truth within myself and others. And I will teach it when I have to. Not that I know more than someone, but I do have something to bring to the table. And we always have to know that we have value without seeking validation. And once we get to that status in our mind, which is a success, is a state of mind, that's just my own ideology. But once we reach that success state in our mind, nothing can stop us. I don't care what it is. In a righteous way, I mean spiritually. Because that's another reason why we can't get stopped. And like I said, we have discussions on things, because some things, good, strong, powerful discussions need to be had. Whether it's brother or sister, it needs to be had. But we can never forget that overall picture that a lot of us always say, spiritual warfare. It's all about the mental, keeping that mental right, on point. Because remember, we are connected. There's other people that we are righteously connected to. That's why we have to keep our spirit right, our temple right, as much as we can, because these things don't come easy. But that's why it takes studying. It takes paying attention. Power of observation of ourselves, things around us, person, place, or thing. Always keep your mind and your pineal open to the great things that the Mother Nature wants to provide for us, wants to download to us. And love who we are and be who we are. Even in the midst of a situation that makes you not want to be who you are. We have to be who we are wherever we are. As long as we're not trying to hurt no one and hurt ourselves, and breathing life into everyone we come in contact with. If they can have life breathed into them. Like I say, sometimes we do have to maybe let individuals go or let some people go. But a lot of times, if you're following that truth, and I'm talking about real truth, and not this shit we see on TV and the things they want us to believe, which I don't believe. One must know there is a difference. And when we get to that status, and a lot of us can't help it, once we've been invested in that truth, and we've seen this wicked world for the way it is, we can't help the truth, and we're addicted to it. We've become one with it. Our spirit won't lie. The truth won't let it. We have no choice. but to embrace the truth. We can't worry about what things think or what people think or how things are going to happen when we're going to situations, because we're still human beings. But we can create that superpower within our mental if we study, especially impulses. I always talk about impulses. And that's the one key thing that we have to zero in on, our impulses. And like I say, I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. And maybe sometimes I might jump off an impulse, but it's going to be a righteous impulse. It's going to be coming from a good place. So, because I study impulses, and one has to study themselves on the regular. So you can overstand if you do kind of jump off an emotion sometimes. Like I say, we're going to have emotions, but we study ourselves to control them. We step back and we reflect, and if we know we're right, we're okay. But it's always some little areas that we can kind of fix and critique that a lot of us have inside of us sometimes, little areas that we have to chisel away that's been in us for a long time. But if we're righteous and we're seeking that truth within, then it's coming from a good place. Sometimes it might come out wrong because when you've seen things in your lifetime and you see things that repeatedly keep on happening, some of us, unfortunately, we see things others don't, because we're always studying ourselves. We're always studying things around us. We're always looking to go higher. We're always looking to learn more. And learning to me is fun. I love learning new things and keeping my mind open, even in those times when it don't feel easy to learn things. But I will still learn, and love will always be at the base. We always got to keep love at the base, and I mean strong love, where you won't let nothing stop you from keep building this peace that we all have been building our whole lives. That inner peace, that's a precious thing. And it's sad when when some of those out there, brother or sister, aren't able to build that inner peace within. It's a sad thing, because one has been there, as most of us have. We have been there when we didn't know what our purpose was, and we were dealing with a little dysfunction. But if you invest in yourself as much as you can and get those times to yourself, get that solitude. There's power in silence, momentarily, because I know sometimes we have to connect with individuals, and if we want to feed those and help those, teach to those that aren't that self-aware, because a lot of us do have jobs and things that's coming at us in this life and things we're going through to keep our mind busy. So we always have to take those moments and reflect and just appreciate that we're alive, because when you're alive, you're able to change the present. Because I always say the righteous things we do in the present will always benefit us in the future. So just keep that in mind and keep cultivating that spirit, especially if you're just starting in this walk and you're in the baby stages of self-awareness. Stick with it, and it's the gift that will keep on giving, because I've been there, done that. And the spirit can't lie, won't lie, because when you following that truth and you real and you ain't taking no shit when it comes to that truth, and you ain't taking shit from the devil, the truth can't lie, won't lie. It's just like I say, it's a lot of us that know the truth but are afraid of it. And I don't want to come off of I'm this big bad gangster dude, but one thing I would not be afraid of is to speak that truth, because studying the truth, being educated by the truth, with a lot of things that's connected to that truth, has helped me to become stronger, more aware, over to understand when I do make little mistakes here and there, whether it's person, place, or thing, and not letting it stop me and dealing with those inner issues. Sometimes we might not know that's there, and they do come out. So we just have to deal with them as they come up out of us. And that's what Mother Nature does. That's what the great Creator does. He works on you. He gets you, especially when he gets you in those moments when he's by yourself. And so you can reevaluate yourself and get back on board and come back stronger and keep sticking to the mission that a lot of us brothers and sisters are on, because it's a way, it's a lot of great big and greater things at stake in this world, and spiritual warfare is serious. Mental illness is no joke. It's no joke. So that's why it's very important to study ourselves as much as we possibly can. And it's not easy for everybody, because everybody has different situations. But stick to that spirit. You can. We always say, I want to sound like a cliche, but we can always be free in our minds, no matter where we are. Let nothing dictate that inner peace that you and I, all of us, have fought for to get. It took a lot of hardship and woulda, coulda, shouldas to get a lot of us to this point that we're at. We have no time for nonsense. We will teach, but we have to keep our guard up. This world is making it that way. We have to keep that strength. We have within our mind, our body, and our spirit, because there are entities that want our mind, that want our spirit. And again, like I say, some want our lives. That's why we got to be on point at all times. And we can't dumb down our power. Unfortunately, there are going to be those out there that won't understand our power. But if they know that we're true and genuine, they will know where it's coming from. If they have known us and they know what kind of teachers that we are. And if you don't want to overstand, that's when you alienate yourself. Because I'm with my brothers and sisters. And whatever walk we're on, because like I say, we all been through the woulda, coulda, shouldas. We all been in moments when we weren't that self-aware. But now that we are, and we have no time for nonsense, and we're gonna be as strong and as loving and as responsible and as pure as we can possibly be. None of us are perfect, but we can damn sure have perfect intentions, and that's what it's all about. Keep on reaching and teaching, and we should be blazing. We should have a blazing fire of righteousness and knowledge and power and love behind us, no matter what. And I always say, I vow to my great Creator, and you should do this too. Our great Creator, Mother Nature, the universe. I always like to say this, if you like to do this, you're more than welcome to. But I always say this to oneself. I vow to my great Creator that I will not be distracted. And we all should stay on course, and stick to that truth and listen to that spirit. The spirit won't lie. If you're real to the pit of the bottom of your soul, all through your body, and it will show on the outside, and others will see that realness and that truth. It will radiate off of you. We just have to let that higher power do what it do, and still love those that might not have that same mindset, or might not be at that place that a lot of us are, if they're willing to, and are not trying to control us and stop us from what we know. Because those that are awakened, we know what we know, and we're standing on it, and we're not getting knocked off of it. If it's righteous, and it's facts, and we know for sure that it's the right walk. Because if you're righteous, you're on the right path. And what do I always say? Mother Nature, the great Creator, always and forever will protect the righteous, even those that are seeking righteous and aren't quite there, but it's in your heart and you mean well. Because remember, malice, being toxic, evil, thinking you know everything, and gossiping, talking about somebody behind their back, that's a hindrance, because the higher power can hear all of that. Just because the person ain't around. This is for myself too. We have to get better at this. Even so much as a negative thought about someone, those with a high vibration will feel it. Because remember, like I said, it was a time when I didn't take this walk serious in that spiritual realm. This spiritual realm is no joke, brothers, sisters. So take it serious. Been there, done that. So remember, the spirit won't lie, and it can't lie, because the truth won't let it. So you have no choice but to embrace it, because there is no other option. So that's my word. That's my positive thought, and that's my real thought. And I thank those for coming in to another EBX discussion. I appreciate it. And I'm just grateful to be able to do this and give life when I can, because I have been led, I have been taught by some great brothers and sisters. And I do that and I say that because I want our connection to always be strong and we keep this spiritual momentum going. And I give honor to your family, my children, their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. May you have peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now.